She doesn't even go here.
I'm bi, actually.
Excuse me. Could the ugly, untalented gays please report to the principal's office?
Hi, I'm Kurt Homo, and I'll be auditioning for the role of kicker.
Hello! Welcome in, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in to Not So Straight Nerds. I'm your host, Luke.
And I'm your other host, Alicia.
Who's dying over there. And today, we have an episode...
Speaking of dying.
No kidding. Speaking of dying on podcasts.
Oh my god.
gosh.
It's Only Murders.
Season 5. Well, Only Murders in the Building, Season 5.
Yeah.
So... I'm very excited to talk about this. Our
Me too.
outline isn't super long, so we'll probably be a little more tangenty than usual. But we have some prior seasons to talk about, so
yeah.
we'll find ways to fill some time with you today.
Yeah.
Before we get too deep into this conversation off the bat,
Vibe check.
how vibes?
You listen. Nothing to do with this show. Everything to do with the day that it's been today. I've been rage baited like never before today. It's crazy. My cat already knocked over my Christmas tree. Yes, I know what you're going to say. You already have your Christmas tree up? I didn't get to decorate last year, so I'm making up for it this year by decorating a month early. I genuinely usually do wait until at least Thanksgiving week. So I guess I should have done that because he already knocked it over and broke 3 ornaments.
And we're not even a week through November.
Yay!
Place your bets as to how many ornaments she'll have intact at the end of the year.
And, with dogs, I feel like depending on their size, you could just put it, on a table. You can't do that with cats. It doesn't matter how tall it is, they will get up there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, actually, at that point, you might as well leave it on the ground because it has less height to fall. I just need to buy, sandbags. There's gotta be sandbags, for sale somewhere.
I'd imagine so. Probably like a Tractor Supply or an Ace Hardware.
Genuinely, bricks or sandbags. I need to put them at the bottom of the tree, so when he inevitably plays with it. And now he's gonna shit in the litter box after I just cleaned it. This is what I'm like. You know what's gonna happen tonight? Andy or Whitney is not gonna go home. That's it's Dancing with the Stars night. So it's just the thing I need is for one of them to not get sent home.
Dang.
I'm just over it. I'm over it.
Clearly.
It's been a day. Anyways.
And my day has been fine. Point blank, period.
Fine.
So.
That's good.
Yeah, better than yours, apparently.
Yeah.
Love that. Thankful. So, we are going to put in a spoiler warning. We are going to be talking the dirty and spoilery details of each season's murder mystery. That
Bloody.
is 5 different victims and killers that we are going to be jumping into off the bat. If you ever want to watch any of these, and let me tell you,
You should.
highly recommend that you do.
Yeah. Show's great
in my office,
overall.
I guess a little, but yes, it's such a show worth getting into. Watch the first season. Honestly, watch the first episode, and you'll immediately know if you're gonna love the show or not. So
I agree.
Definitely give it a try. Each season has been a ride, but mostly it's a really great time throughout. So highly recommend. You've been warned.
You should do at your work questions that we do on our podcast. You should put them on the board. That would be fun. Anyways, that's all I'm going to say about that.
So, what we are going to start out with is ranking the 5 seasons so far. And we're going to kind of use this as a chance to kind of catch up on some of our thoughts, maybe a little bit more in-depth than usual on the prior seasons.
Yeah.
So, that is 5 seasons we have to go through in the Arconia, 5 murders. So, let's see what's up.
Let's get right into it.
So, I will let you go first with
Okay.
your least favorite season.
I feel like we probably have the same one, and that's season 4. I feel like I'm pretty confident that yours is also season 4. But I guess we'll see. Season 4 to me
If I may start out with a question,
Sure.
do you think season 4 is a bad season of television?
Oh, gosh. I don't know. At least I guess it's like. Is it though? I'm trying to, because you always say like something can't be.
It can't be bad
Bad and
and
boring?
boring.
I wouldn't say it was boring. Although I didn't binge it. I feel like if I binged it, it might be a little. I don't know how that would feel. But I watched it weekly. I feel like it's hard to get bored with a weekly 30-minute episode show.
Mhm.
You know, that's really hard to do. It's like, unless your attention span is really bad.
Just say, I feel like
Um,
we've had shows that have still had us bored. Like when we caught up to Alien Earth.
Yeah, but those are hour-long episodes pretty much, or at least 45. So, I don't know. I feel like I don't remember it being point blank period boring. I just remember not really liking a decent amount of stuff that was in the episodes. So would I say it's a bad season? Maybe. I'm like close to saying that, but I feel like I love this show so much that I don't want to say that.
That's fair.
I don't know. Would you say it's bad?
I'll jump the gun a little bit. Season 4, R.I.P. Saz Pataki.
Yeah.
It is my least favorite.
Yes.
And I would say it's a bad season of this show.
Yeah.
I think for any other show, it's just fine.
I think that's a really good way to put it.
I think the other seasons of the show are so strong. I think with its cast and its mystery. I think this one just kind of falls apart in a couple of different ways.
Yeah.
I would say...
Now he's cleaned his booty. Because he's sad. Just took a shit in the clean litter box. Now let me clean my butt.
I would say one of the big things
Cats.
is kind of the separation of time between New York and LA. It's a very new thing they added into this season that made it very, you're kind of splitting your attention between very different locations with very different aesthetics. That's very different than what we've seen to this season prior to that point.
Well, you make a good point where you say the 2 seasons where they don't fully focus on the Arconia, the place that they live, are probably the 2 weaker seasons.
Yeah.
Which I would agree with.
I would also say for that season, I think a big part, I think of like the trio of actors that were pretty prevalent that season.
Yeah.
Truthfully, I don't think I liked them in hindsight. Like, I think I could like excuse some of the parts of it, but in hindsight, I don't enjoy their inclusion in the show. And I feel like it easily could have been a lot better. I couldn't put my thumb onto why, but I feel like specifically like the writing through performance.
Yeah. I think that's fair. Yeah. It was just disappointing because of the high expectations you have from the show. It reminds me of like The Bear with season 3, how maybe it's not that bad, but it's just so disappointing compared to the first 2 seasons. And then we haven't even seen season 4 because that's how little people, talk about it. So, yeah.
Indeed.
At least this show's still garnering some conversation. I will say it took me a hot minute to see anything about season 5 other than pictures of Logan Lerman. That's it. Until I started watching the show and then I started getting some stuff. Spoilers. So, yeah.
And I'll also say,
It's still popular.
by far my least favorite killer. Like, it was very... I don't know. The idea that he stole the script and then was trying to, like, pass it as his own. I think with the rewrites, that's interesting. And I think I never caught myself wondering, how did this guy write such a great script if they're always doing rewrites that are worse?
Yeah.
I feel like it maybe would have been cool to maybe center on that a little more in his scenes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just never drew suspicion at all towards him.
Yeah. Didn't he also have his own episode? And then up until that point, the pattern was like, if you get an episode centered around you, you're not the killer, probably.
He might have had one.
I feel like he did.
It's interesting.
But then he did end up being the killer.
Yeah, and then there was the whole Mabel getting the apartment across the way where the sniper shot was taken.
Yeah.
I remember loving the first episode a lot, and being really on board at the beginning with like the murder mystery of Saz specifically. I did not see that coming with her death.
So sad.
And I don't know, I really enjoyed that it was kind of Charles's season.
Yeah.
Like Mabel has been a main focus for a lot of them, and Charles had his with season 3.
Oliver
Had
Yeah.
his with season 3, thank you. So I thought it was really interesting to kind of have his chance to shine.
Yeah.
And then here at the last Oscars, it was still Steve Martin that got nominated.
Really?
Yeah.
That surprises me a little
Over
bit.
Charles Martin. I get their
They have very similar
I know.
names. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But I was actually a little disappointed to see that, and I also feel like I personally wouldn't agree to that.
Yeah, at least with season 4, I could understand like
Overall,
even this
sure.
season. Yeah.
But
But
I feel like
season 4 was his season. Yeah, that's just
It's a bummer. And then like that first episode and the mystery of finding the metal hip in the furnace. The whistle in the window I thought was a little dumb because it's like
Yeah.
you're not trying to find that. I feel like that's pretty
Yeah.
okay, murder mystery solvers. But whatever. And then I do remember being very interested with the idea of them not seeing the body, and in the first episode played a lot with them just like toying around with being in the murder scene and not noticing any clues. I don't know, it was really cool. I really liked that first episode. So it felt very, and then like you meet, I think it was Oliver's sister played by Melissa McCarthy. Or no, it was
I don't
Charles'
remember.
sister.
Okay. Like, I don't remember.
Because yes, I think it was Charles' sister. And that's like, I remember so little of that episode. There's just a lot I don't remember or care to remember from this season.
Yeah.
It doesn't stand out the way I think a lot of the other stuff does. Although the woman in charge of the movie, I thought she was fantastic.
Yeah. Very fun. That's kind of why I feel like I'm not wanting to say it's a bad season, because there are definitely some fun parts. I just think I agree it's like definitely the weakest for this show.
And then the stuntman bar I also was not a huge fan of either.
Yeah, I agree. I do remember that. Not like this, I didn't remember it, but the second you said it, I remember like the whole scene
And then the Ben Glenroy stunt double getting murdered as well. That whole thing.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm regressing these memories.
You're like, stop talking about it. I don't want to think about it. I'm done.
But yeah, I don't know. I think it sets a bit of a low bar, but it's, as far as television, it's like the midway bar.
Yeah, but at least, for new watchers, you're not starting with that season. You've actually got a few to watch before then. So I think that's good. It's not like it's one of those, just get past, the first couple seasons.
And you know what? Also, in the vein of this whole episode, it does end on what I would say is also my least favorite pitch for the next season, which was Lester being found dead in the fountain after meeting with the mob lady. Yeah. I like her a lot better in this season. I did not super whenever she showed up in the scene, I wasn't super excited. Because I was like, where is this coming from? This is very left field. And why? And you're going to these podcasters to look for this person? That's weird. And then Lester of all people was dead in a fountain.
It seemed very random. A very random setup.
Yes. Yeah. And I think that's a part of the reason I wasn't super excited to catch up on this. We didn't catch up on this season until, I think 2 days before the last episode came.
Yeah.
And I really feel like that last kind of the last 5 seconds of the show are kind of a huge indicator of maybe why people weren't hopping on board as aggressively this time.
We shall see.
Food for thought.
Any other thoughts, or you want me to go next?
I think we're good on season 4. We can repress that again.
We can leave it. We can leave it in the past.
Yes.
My number 4 is season 2. Isn't this also the one where they leave Arconia?
No.
No?
This one is still in the Arconia. The murder is
I know
of
it's
Bunny
Bunny.
Folger in Mabel's apartment.
Yes.
Um,
Oh, and this is where... Is this the season where with Cara Delevingne? Her love interest.
Yes. The
Yeah.
girl love
with
interest.
the thick eyebrows.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's her.
That's like the perfect way to describe that actress. Like that, her eyebrows are like her. That's her signature look. Anyways.
Yes, that is her
Yes.
season.
Have you not seen Paper Towns? Well, you've seen her as the
I've seen her in other
Enchantress.
stuff,
Yeah.
But yes, I've seen.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. I will say I loved them. It was very fun.
Yeah. She was fun. It was, yeah. I enjoyed that season.
Parts of it, yeah. And that's also where she makes her wall, or is that where she already made it and tore it down?
The wall, I
just
think
know
she's
the wall
doing
was
throughout
involved.
season 1.
Okay. Because I know at some point she like either takes it down or paints over it or something. But I can't
I
remember.
think
the
that's here in
timeline
the
of that.
second season.
Okay.
Because season 3 had so much else going on.
So sad because it was so pretty.
It was gorgeous. I remember being like, what are we doing
Yeah.
here?
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. I don't remember a whole lot of season 2. I will say it's, pretty early on in, it's season 2. I do remember the bunny thing, and then Mabel's look is so iconic. It could be like a Halloween costume, honestly. But I really don't remember much else. So I don't have much to talk about because I literally don't remember all that much. I'm sure if like when you start talking about it, whenever it's on your ranking, like I'm sure it'll bring back memories, but just off the top of my head, like I'm blanking.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree that it's maybe the most forgettable season, but when I took time to think back to it, there was some amazing stuff that season.
Yeah.
I specifically loved Tina Fey kind of being an antagonist.
Right.
And
Those
it's
two.
podcast versus podcast.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think Bunny's episode of the victim episode is my favorite of
Okay.
all victim episodes.
Okay.
And it was and the tunnels and the walls I thought were great. I feel like until this latest season we haven't used those to as much as we should.
Yeah, absolutely.
After that amazing reveal.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I don't know. I'll circle back to it, but there's a lot I like about that season.
Okay, fair enough.
Oh my god, I have to do my next one.
Didn't even write it.
What's something bad you remember about that season?
I remember not liking Tina Fey's assistant, and then she ends up being the killer. So it's like, okay. I don't know why. I don't remember what I didn't like about her, but I just remembered her being a little bit forgettable. For some reason, I keep wanting to compare her to, I'm not going to say who it is, but the killer in the recent I Know What You Did Last Summer remake.
Okay.
I don't know why. They give me similar vibes. But it's I was underwhelmed when they were revealed to have done it.
I'm well, they have similar. No, I can't even say that, but but sure,
don't know.
it's not the craziest statement.
Yeah.
My number 4, and we are jumping around, is season 3, with the
Yes.
death of Ben Glenroy. I will say, pretty big gap between these seasons.
Oh, mine too. To be fair.
But I truly think there is something special about just constantly being in the Arconia that I think really helps with the aesthetic for this show. And I love theater stuff as well. I think this worked a lot better than going to Hollywood. And I think the aesthetics between a theater and the Arconia are adjacent. So I think this could have been landed a lot better for me just inherently with that. But this was my first season watching it weekly. And I remember constantly being man, I wish we were a little more locked into stuff here.
Okay.
And I think this is the first season where it felt like they lost some of the fun, unique kind of special style to the episodes. I loved the musical aspect. I thought it was very cool. I didn't like the time jump though with it.
Okay.
I think that loses a little bit of my goodwill because I'm like, or we could just watch that happen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. And it starts on a weird note with the idea where the other seasons you are following with your main characters to uncover things that they and the audience don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But then here it's okay, cool. Now I need them to catch me up to where they are as well.
Okay.
So I think there's a little bit of a disconnect with your main cast in that season for me.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I thought that Ben Glenroy was performed better. I feel like he's my least
Paul
favorite
Rudd.
victim.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'd have to think about it. I can't say he's my least favorite just because it's Paul Rudd. I just can't.
I don't know.
But wasn't he kind of an asshole?
Sure, but he.
I guess. So
but
in
he
that
wasn't
way,
a fun to watch asshole either.
Yeah.
I can't blame anyone for murdering him. I did really like the murder mystery tying into the family and what you do for your kids theme.
Mm-hmm.
That I thought was really great. I remember literally as figuring out who actually solved it when they were arresting the producer, the mom producer.
Yeah.
And being like, oh my gosh, I see the equation. I've solved it.
Yeah.
And that was a very satisfying element.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the end of season 2 with us seeing. I keep wanting to say Adam Scott. What the hell is that actor's name? Paul Rudd. Oh my
Paul
gosh.
Rudd.
Seeing him die on stage and the reveal that he was gonna be in the next season, crazy.
Yeah.
It gives us Loretta. I think Loretta is so fun.
Oh my god, I love Loretta.
Regardless of
And then the
my thoughts of the
song,
overall
Look for the
season,
Lights.
great song.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got which of the triplets did it, and I'm like, no,
It's Charles. It's
no,
funny.
Charles, you don't belong in a musical.
No,
I'm so
don't say
sorry,
that.
King.
Don't say that. He's trying his best.
He is, but you know what? It's also crazy that Oliver let him do this.
Yeah. Well, he's being a good friend.
No. But then it also felt like
Yeah.
Mabel went from being really heavily involved in this in the main arc to being almost basically excluded from the good stuff, which I thought was also an interesting choice. The rest of the cast I don't think super shines to me outside of those I've mentioned so far.
Okay.
And like I said, I think the directing is noticeably weaker here. I would say this season I think the directing was the weakest.
Okay.
Specifically in what the episodes look like and the style of them.
All right then.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
I think that establishes my thoughts.
All right. My number 3 is season 5. So I won't talk about this much since we'll get into that in heavy detail later. But I liked season 5 overall. I do still feel like they did have their moments where it was a little slow to me, and I was like, okay, maybe we haven't quite found our way back. But I really liked the 3 actors that played the billionaires. I thought they were a very fun trio. I also think it's fun just to kind of compare them to our main trio in certain ways. I think the setting obviously is very fun. Not only is it in the Arconia a lot of the time, but we do go other places. We go to the mob house with the Sons, and the Sons are hilarious. We go to the dry cleaners. I mean, not all that interesting, but it is kind of funny to see one of the dead bodies hanging on the thing. That's terrifying. And the fact that it connects to the Arconia. The whole basement casino thing I thought was really fascinating. I liked a lot of what was happening here, honestly. I feel like I really like my top 3. So, yeah. I'm not going to say much more than that.
My number 3 is also season 5, R.I.P. Lester and Nikki. No, I agree. I think it was a great way to reinvigorate your show while staying in the building. I thought that was really well played, especially with how kind of hesitant I was to go into this season,
Yeah.
they completely got me back in right off the bat. So I thought that was amazing. I think the additional characters added here, I think, work really well. I think the returning characters in the ensemble do great work here.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave it at that because we'll talk a lot more about that later.
Yeah.
But yeah, great season.
My number 2 is season 3. I feel like season 3 has such a special place in my heart. I remember a lot about it considering, my brain and my memory problems, and that it was, 2 years ago probably. So considering I remember a lot about it, I feel like it has to be a good thing. And I only feel like I remember good things.
That means
will
you don't
say, I
remember the
guess-
White Room episode. Hated the White Room episode.
What's the White Room episode?
The White Room episode was whenever Charles was trying to do a song, and then he would go into like a white haze every time.
Oh
he does
yeah,
his
I do
setback.
remember that.
Hated that episode.
I love Charles. Anyway, he was going through it in that season. Loved Loretta. I feel like, considering they left the building, I still found what they were doing interesting. I will say, obviously, I love the building, and I think they are at its strongest when it's set in the building. So we'll see what happens next season. This is now the 3rd time they've done that. And haven't had a, great season with that so far. So we'll see. Gosh, I don't know. I'm confusing it just because I like Paul Rudd. I didn't like his character, but I love Paul Rudd. I love, I think his name is Jesse Williams, Mabel's love interest in that
Yes.
season. He's so cute.
He's very suspicious
Yeah, he is.
for like no reason.
He is so. He looks like he's like too charming. Like I don't know. There's something about him.
You know what I will say about Paul Rudd's character that season? I loved the reveal that he was the person who wrote on the mirror. I think that was easily like the best his character was that entire show.
No, I loved that gag, and then I like vividly remember that mirror scene. The whole like, who did this, and the whole mystery of that. This person has lipstick. Blah blah blah.
You know what I can't remember for the life of me? I remember in season 3, it was a big deal that Loretta's son was working on the show with her unknowingly. I cannot for the life of me remember who that kid is. And I think it's crazy that we've just never talked about the fact that Oliver
He's a
has
son.
a stepson.
It's true.
Similar to the fact I think it's odd that we just don't see his son anymore either. This show, the thing with having such a great cast every season is that they don't always sign up to be returning, and I
Yeah.
think that just makes things a little odd.
A little awkward. Yeah. I feel like I remember liking most of the cast a part of the musical. I remember when they had like, I think it was their table read whole episode scene, whatever you want to call it. The actual performance. I will say I didn't so much care about the mother and son duo, I guess. I liked the themes that they were exploring with it, but them as characters were sometimes a little bit annoying. Just because, their relationship is supposed to be weird because it's like very close. But it's off-putting. So, no, I don't have a lot of complaints about this season. I'm going to be so honest.
Fair.
So, I don't know.
Any other thoughts on season 3?
Nope.
Cool. For me, my number 2, I have season 2. With Bunny as our poor victim.
Yeah.
It's so crazy that they managed to make me feel so bad about her murder. Would not have guessed that.
Yeah.
At any point through season 1. And I just think that is so cleverly done.
Yeah.
I remember, I think it was also a mystery on who the victim... No, because season 1 started with Mabel being caught with the murder. And then that's the last thing that happens again, and we see who the body is.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. With the assistant, I remember being gagged by the reveal that she was the supposed victim in Cindy's podcast, the one that like they were all listening to the night of the original murder. Furthermore, oddly enough, throwing more suspicion on Cindy than herself.
Yeah.
But I remember that being really interesting, even if the character wasn't, super flashy at all. I thought it was a decent understated performance, and overall. And like I said, when you had it up, I love the tunnels. I love the mystery. I want to say I think that's when they have the completely quiet episode.
I don't remember that.
That's the episode where it's following the deaf son, and so everything is quiet, and then it like leads into the modern time and out of flashbacks, and everything that they do is quiet still, but it's like just because they're doing the scene without talking. I don't know. I love the style of that.
Yeah.
And I remember there was like the painting in Bunny's room, her mom and the owning of the building. There was a lot that I really liked about the building. And whenever I was telling people I tell people about this show, I'm like, hey, you'll at least really like the first two seasons.
Yeah.
From there, I always say make your own choices, but
Yeah.
I think the murder. Oh, and then the finale with the fake murder of Charles.
Yes.
And I think that last episode was also
crazy.
amazing.
Oh, I do remember that, and that was gut-wrenching.
No,
So
and then
sad.
also one of my biggest complaints for this season is it has them getting back to the Arconia after getting out of police custody, and they're like, "Hey Mabel, what happened to your boyfriend?" Is like, we're leaving him in season 1. It's like, that is not the vibe you guys gave
That's crazy.
in the last episode. And it particularly was crazy watching these first 2 seasons back to back, because I'm like, what do you mean? I just learned so much about him, and now he's just gone?
Yeah. Didn't even have time to forget him.
That was insane. But regardless, I feel like that became almost like a running joke with Mabel, that she'd have a love interest and then they're gone the next season.
Yeah.
Which continued to this day.
Next season, she can have a British love interest,
Oh my
and the options for
gosh.
that are endless.
And gorgeous.
And gorgeous. Ugh.
Yeah, I think that's what I have to say about season 2.
My number 1 is season 1.
Tim, why do you have to go, King?
Not us singing everything.
Season 1, Tim Como, rest in peace. Adore.
Yeah. Obviously, season 1, I think it was at its peak. It was the original idea. I feel like, if you don't have a good season 1, it's hard to come back from that. So, not that it's never been done before. It certainly has.
Sure.
But
they knocked it out of the park.
yeah, there's a reason that this show pretty much instantly became very iconic. So, it was very good. Great first pitch for a season.
Yeah.
So
the reveal that Mabel knew the victim halfway through, but great twist.
Yeah.
I love that one of the main clues was staring at them since the beginning with the oboe cleaner. I think that's so clever. The fact that Jan is brought into the investigation, is constantly trying to mislead it.
Yep.
Sting was there. Sting killed my dog.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was just so fun. The oboe playing alibi, so us as the audience would like our main characters have no reason to suspect she wasn't doing that.
Yeah.
It was just so well done. So well done.
I agree.
And now that we've revealed all of them, I adore the cast.
Yeah.
Our main 3, our trio.
Amazing.
I'm trying to think if there's another trio in television specifically that is on their level.
There probably is.
I'm sure there is, but I don't know. It's
Burley,
pretty dang up
stop
there.
being a heathen. Oh gosh, I'd really have to think about that. Currently, I don't know. There probably is, and I'm leaving it out. I mean, trio specifically, I can't think of one. I mean, I can think of, like, Stranger Things is coming up. Obviously, that cast is so iconic. I know certain people out there are going to say The Summer I Turned Pretty, and they're wrong.
No.
Oh, they're so wrong. But I had to acknowledge it because I know people are going to bring that up. No, you're wrong. I don't know. I think of The Vampire Diaries, but that's not current, so.
I think their personalities blend together really well. And I think it's interesting considering...
Wait.
Oh.
Interview with a Vampire.
Mm.
Lestat, Louis, and Claudia.
Heard.
In both season 1 and season 2. Like, what a great recast of Claudia. I'm very interested to see if you agree with that, because I do think they're pretty different performances, but I liked both. I think they're just doing two different things with the character, which, considering the time jump and everything that's happening, I think works really well. But you haven't seen it, so I want to see what your thoughts
I'll
are.
judge.
So, anyways, I would say actually that's a great pick. The Pit, there's not a trio, so I can't even do that. Same with the studio. Now I'm thinking of Emmys from this year. Severance, there's too many. Yeah. Trios, man.
I think it's interesting that they managed to make this ensemble work so well, considering there's like two old guys and a millennial female.
Yeah. And they're so great in real life too, or at least they seem like it. I don't know.
And it just works really well, regardless of like that age imbalance, we'll call it.
Yeah.
It still feels like the three of them cover so much personality.
Yeah.
And it's...
We were like comparing them to our trio friendship, and it's so like creepily similar, I would say. It's kind of crazy.
A little bit.
Not exactly, obviously. We're like all the same age, but you know.
Yeah, so we also have a podcast.
We do. Yeah. We gotta get a third microphone.
For sure.
Yeah.
But...
Anyways.
I don't know. I think the premise of it is just such a great pitch, and then the mysteries themselves typically, I think, knock it out of the park.
Yeah. I
So,
agree.
love and adore. Circling us into talking on this season, R.I.P. Lester, R.I.P. that fountain. I wanted
He's a
to
real one.
start with, what are some of your favorite parts from this season?
The robot falling down and going, oh no! Literally like that. So funny. Oh, I could play that clip. Oh no! It's like
Oh no!
so funny when he falls.
And especially in that first time with her like, so we just need to get the robot, and then oh no!
No.
I
The
love
timing of that. I actually do want to give a shout out to the robot though, just in general, because I feel like I was a little bit worried about it with all the AI stuff going on right now. I was like, oh no, but like in that way. But I actually really liked the robot. I loved the human Lester, and anytime they flash back to him, his entire like flashback episode was so good.
That was a really good one.
I think you also said it was probably one of the best ones in the whole show.
I
Did you
think
say that?
I said that
I don't
about
remember.
bunnies. This one I think is a really
Okay.
close second for me,
Yeah.
but I would understand it being first for people.
Yeah. I think I already said some of these, but the Mafia Sons were really funny.
The Mafia Sons were so funny.
Yeah. I also love the representation that Lorraine and Oliver, you know, just because they're married, they didn't live together. I know that's like unconventional, but it does happen. It reminds me, I went to like this theater convention one time, and I took like what do they call them? Workshops. With this lady that does costumes, and she was talking about how her and her husband live in different states. And that like floored me as a kid. I was like, what? That's an option? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Anyways. But I mean, it works. Like, I don't judge it at all. I think if it works for you, that's great. I mean, it seems like they're maybe moving in, you know, at the end of the season. But I thought that was very fun. And it seemed perfect for them. But it also seemed perfect that they were trying to find their own place, especially after her apartment burns down. That's really sad. Was it an apartment? Was it a house? Wherever she
Apartment.
lived. Yeah. I also really love just them working through that with Oliver, like, hesitant to move, and then she was recognizing that as well. I loved that. I love them. I think they're so cute. Gosh, the reveal was fun. I already said the billionaire trio was, I think, very interesting. They also had like 3 different funny stereotypes about billionaires, I feel like, with them. So
Yes.
that was fun. The whole finger thing was crazy. Trying to figure that out the entire season. I'm just like trying to rapid fire my thoughts. Feel free to interrupt.
Sure, I'll jump
Give
in.
yours.
I loved the finger starting everything off.
Yeah.
I think that was a really great and subtle, like, it's such like a physically small thing, but it's like,
Yeah.
okay, there's a finger here.
Yeah.
And that's like such a fun way to start off a case where that's the only thing you have to start
Yeah.
with,
Mhm.
and they don't know whose it is
Yeah.
until literally the last episode.
Yeah.
I think that is
That's
so fun.
And also the fact when she puts in her Tumblr, I think is really funny. When they break into their mansion and they figure out that they're playing Operation, I think that's hilarious.
Mhm.
I always love
Oh, Divine Joy Randolph's character.
Yes.
I think. Oh,
why are we on
she's-
the same brainwave?
She's
then?
really great in the first season, but she
Yes.
shines here in a way
Shines
where it's
here.
like I don't like. It feels like we're almost missing out with her not being more involved.
Yeah.
Like it's
I
the first
agree.
time I'm like, I feel like you're doing so great to the point where it's crazy that you're not here more.
Yes, I agree. Speaking of her, I loved the therapy scene.
Mhm.
Every single, before she was there, when she got there, I think that was great. I thought she was great. The ladies' night, I thought was really
That
fun.
was a really fun episode.
Gosh, I don't know. The reveal that the mayor's assistant was like the daughter or worked for
The
or
niece
something.
of
Niece.
what's
one of the
his
billionaires.
name? Bash.
Yes, I thought that was a gag. Gosh, when they got tied up in the thing, when they got kicked out, that
Oh.
was crazy. Trying to save them.
Althea.
Yes,
So fun.
Yeah.
Loved her inclusion
the
here.
isn't that just the? I think it's funny because you can very much say the as well, like the whatever. So that whole beef, but then when they made up, I thought that was great. How she totally helped them in the end, I thought was so sweet. When they were watching the video of Lester, first of all, that reveal was crazy.
Which one are we talking on?
When it was revealed that he killed the mobster guy.
Yeah.
When they
well,
did it on the projector.
Right.
Well, kind of. I mean, it wasn't like quite intentional. He just wanted to stop
He was
him.
holding the knife when he tackled him. So.
Oh, yeah.
That's a fine
That's
line.
fair. That's fair. I forget that technically the elevator crank thing wasn't like the final blow. It was just the first blow.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah. This was fun. This was a very fun time.
it was.
I
feel like I'm
did end
leaving
up
things out,
binging it,
but-
so I do wonder what that experience was like week to week.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like I still would have really enjoyed it.
I think so too.
So, and obviously,
That one guy
My-
coming back from the previous season because he was in jail.
yes, him
and
and
then-
his son.
and his son. I love his son. That character is very fun.
Very fun. I remember like feeling whatever way about him originally, but having him come back, especially for this whole Last Supper thing, I thought was like, oh, this is actually really cute. I'm glad he's here.
Oh, the Last Supper thing was fun. I also thought,
With the robot, I thought it was funny that nobody was ever asking him anything, even though he's literally a robot and sees a lot of things that they
Mm-hmm.
don't know. I feel like that would be really realistic. Even though it's frustrating to watch, you're like, ask the robot. I do feel like a lot of people would forget
I
about that.
also loved Howard projecting onto Robot Lester. I thought that was really funny.
Yeah, I agree. I liked the whole bird thing with the bird camera and the bird whistle. I thought that was fun.
And the bird code names I thought was fun, the mystery of that.
Yeah.
Although, not them overlooking the entire time, that they just, like, only mentioned, they're like, there were 5 people down in there, and then they named 4 birds, and it's like, so we're not going to talk about that last bird? You're missing a bird.
Yeah.
Why is no one bringing this up?
Yeah.
It was very interesting, especially because, like, they never talked about the fact that the mirror was down there.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Speaking of, loved him as well. He was very small
Yeah.
throughout the season, but it's Keegan-Michael Key. He's
Yeah.
amazing.
He is. And then I loved the tease for the next season. Even though I'm still nervous
Yes.
about them going to London, there are a lot of other exciting things.
Well, because you know what I think
That make me
might
intrigued.
help?
hmm
What I'm just now thinking is with the... With, I would say, at least season 3,
hmm
I think a huge problem with that was there was the murder outside of the hotel, outside of the building,
hmm
and then it was someone we had. The only attachment we had to them was that they were played by Paul Rudd. We did not know that character beforehand. Here we do. So there's something that we already know about the victim
Yeah.
and their current relationship with our characters. So that's something that season 3 didn't have going into it.
Well, technically, I mean, I know what you mean by the tease. Technically, he did die in the hotel or in the whatever apartment building.
Yeah.
But we didn't know that with the tease. So at least here we do know that. I think it's really funny that she like woke up just to like put her hand there.
That's amazing.
That's like, I feel like that's classic Only Murders. It just feels like it fits the vibe.
No, for sure. Okay, I want to turn over to the other side of this coin. What are some parts that didn't work for us?
Oliver was like insufferable in one episode. Maybe like less
Specifically
than
the
one
game
episode.
episode. And
Yes.
I would say it was like uncharacteristically.
It was. I really think so. It was frustrating to see not only because he was being annoying and rude and selfish, but that just didn't seem like him. That seemed like it went too far for him. I mean, yes.
Because
like,
there's a line for him where he's
Yeah.
very self-serving,
yeah.
but he's
Oh,
done some crazy stuff for
Guys,
his friends
he
before.
let Charles in his musical. Like, this guy at the end of the day is gonna back his friends, even if that doesn't always serve him well. So, yeah, I agree. I think it's funny that they were joking that he was narcissistic, because it's like, yes, but also like not crazy in a toxic way. Like, you could still definitely be cool with them. Yeah, Loretta still being in this season and heavily involved, I think was fun. Or fairly, I don't know. I don't
We're
know
on
heavily, but what?
We're on bad stuff.
So true. Sorry. Gosh,
I will
negativity.
say, speaking of the Rich Trio, I feel like so much of the stuff around them was just like never fully finished. Like it would be like, oh my gosh, we just signed this deal for Wonderfy, and we have these
talk about least favorite
suspects.
parts.
And then it's like, cool, you're not allowed to do the podcast if you talk about the people who own our company.
Yeah.
And then like the next episode starts, and they're like, okay, what's our next lead? And it's like, we're like, I understand wanting to still solve the murder, but we're not gonna talk about that
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah. I will say, I think one of my least favorite parts was it did kind of feel, in comparison to all the other seasons, probably one of the most unrealistic, because like they committed a felony. Like they did an autopsy on a body before they turned it in. Like that's so illegal. That's a felony. And then
That
they
being
never.
said, I loved them doing it.
Yes, I loved that they did it. But it did feel interesting that one, they never faced consequences for it.
Well,
at all.
there's nothing, because I don't even know if they admitted that to the detective in the first place.
I don't think so.
And they didn't need to put that in their podcast.
Yeah. I just it made
And
me
because-
think, how
and-
are you going to?
My thought was because it was covered up. So they weren't actually going to do an autopsy on the body in the first place, so no one was going to double check that.
Yeah, that's
so,
true.
and because that's what I was definitely thinking the entire time they were doing that episode.
Yeah, that's
And then
true.
with the dirty cops being there, basically saying that it's a cover up.
Yeah.
I'm like, and that's how they luck their way out of this. But also that's distracted by the fact that there's a huge new clue covering that up.
Yeah, I hated. I feel like one of my least favorite parts was when they signed the contract, just like not even really looking at it at all. I just don't believe that they would do that. At
I don't
least not
believe that
Mabel.
all three of them would.
Yeah.
Like, I would say that's so Charles' behavior, but I would say Mabel
Yeah.
and also
I mean, he got
Oliver.
catfished in the season.
But also
so.
Oliver, who's, like, worked in entertainment before.
I mean, so is Charles, but like it's so in character for Charles
Yes.
to not be smart about
I
that.
would say
So
one of
much.
those two could have,
Yeah,
should
I
have,
think
would have
that's ridiculous. Yeah.
hesitated.
One, especially because it didn't really lead to much and it wasn't talked about. I just feel like then why even have that happen
Concurred.
if you're not going to do anything with it anyways.
I also want to circle back to the game night episode where it's like, if we win this game, you have to tell us everything. And then they still left with so many questions not answered.
Yeah.
Very simple questions. It's like, okay, so if this is how it was going to be, why did you... What if they just didn't want to tell you anything? Clearly, there's nothing that they're going to have to face consequences for. And maybe that's
Yeah.
something you set up before you play the game for all the marbles.
Yeah, I agree. Gosh, I wish also I am kind of disappointed that the one female billionaire, forgot her name, Camilla. When she renovated Oliver's apartment, I wanted so badly to see that be involved with like covering something up, and I don't think it was.
I thought for a second it was going to be like she put a camera in his apartment. But then that didn't happen.
Yeah. So, that's nitpicky because it didn't need to happen, but I just think that would have been fun. I thought it was a little much that she pulled a gun on them to get the finger,
I concur.
and then didn't face consequences for that. I'm like, that's like armed robbery, kind
she
of.
did end up still going to jail.
That's true. But like specifically for that, it's like you had a gun pulled on you.
Yeah, but then it's
a lot.
He said, she said with a billionaire.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it. Jay Flug did not look like he was missing a finger with that wrapping.
Really?
You could, like, I would say, after the first time we saw it.
It was pretty thick.
You can clearly see his finger being bent inward after it's like, wait a minute, is that his finger? And then I'm looking at it, I'm like, no, it's definitely not.
Yeah.
I can see him bending his finger.
And I think I didn't notice it, but I did notice it was thick. So I feel like if I looked closer, I would have noticed it. And if that was just, like hair and makeup and he did lose a finger, whatever. But the fact that it's canon that he didn't lose a finger and therefore they probably would have had the opportunity to see it bent. If we can see it on camera, they can see it in person.
Another thing, actually, on that same note, with him admitting that he was pretending he lost a finger, hoping to get handed back the finger.
Yeah.
That's crazy because he started wrapping it before he knew that they had it. Because whenever they were like trapped behind the bar when they came down
somebody
there,
had it. He knew somebody had it.
They didn't know where it was, but they didn't know that they had it, and he didn't know that they were going to be down there in the cellar in the first place. Hi there, sir. So that all feels a little messy. I'm also going to say I wish his character. Bye-bye. I wish we got a little bit more of him, I think.
Yeah.
Like, the other two I bought as, like, I would believe that they would do this.
Mm-hmm.
But if he's going to be here this long, I feel like he could have added maybe a little bit more. Like, he's very charming. And
To be fair, he definitely is the odd one out of the three in terms of what he'll do for money and image.
Sure.
And he himself admitted that, and I guess because of that, you know, I believe him.
Mm-hmm.
But I do wish he had something going on, even if that thing, unlike the others, was good.
Yeah.
You know,
I agree.
have something else. Like maybe like I don't even if that was just like actually seeing them on a date or something. Like I wanted more scenes with him, something else to happen.
Okay.
So, anyways.
I'll also say, I don't know, something about the Oliver and Loretta in like his childhood theater felt a little to me. Not that I think it's necessarily
honestly,
bad.
that whole sequence of events in that episode, I thought were a little weak for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because Oliver was also annoying me that episode. So,
Yeah, that was an odd episode, I feel.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of other things that didn't work for me. I wish that Randall worked a little better for me. I wish he popped the way I think some of these other characters did for
the other person that
The new
Lester
doorman.
was? Yes. I was thinking of the job title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought he was charming. I thought he was never a character that I'm like, can't wait to learn more about him.
Yeah.
Like, even when I did
He
think
was
it was him, I
fine.
was like, meh.
Yeah. It's hard because Lester, old and young, was so charming. So it's like when Randall's
Young
just kind of
Lester.
there.
Good shout, actually.
Yeah.
I think he did a lot to help that episode a lot.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about how Nikki didn't age
That's
the
crazy.
entirety of that episode.
They gave him like the little like gray side piece and that was it.
Ooh, speaking of, I actually also liked, but I could understand if people didn't like it. I liked Nikki's body talking to Charles in the episode where they find him.
Yes.
I thought that was fun. Especially because I enjoy that actor enough.
It was a fun way to include the actor more.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Since he was already on set.
Well, yeah, I think it easily could have not worked if it was a less likable actor, but I liked seeing him,
He
so I didn't
managed to
mind.
have a lot of charm to it, and I loved playing
Yeah.
with the idea of like, hey, this is what you think I'm like. What does it say
Yeah.
about you? It was very fun. It was fun meta.
Yeah.
I'm looking through things. I think it's crazy that I clocked very early on that the mayor's assistant was going to be important in some capacity and even very suspicious.
Mm-hmm.
And then she had like maybe 2 lines this entire season. Even though they were like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, she's related to this
And
person.
she was suspicious.
Yeah.
But, you know.
I don't know. I think it's just interesting that like she was so very clearly meant to be noticed. And then like anything that came from that, she wasn't in the room for.
Yeah.
And that's just a little crazy to me.
Oh. Where shall we go from here?
A great question. Casino vibe, yay, nay? Huge yay.
Oh, yeah, of course. I want to do an extra shout out because I don't think I specifically shouted this out. I did shout out Ladies Night, but I want to specifically shout out every interaction between Lorraine and Camilla.
Yes.
That was great. First of all, the fact that Lorraine actually has some like, what do you call it? Like abilities. That's not
Loretta having
the right
like
word,
the
but
sixth sense.
the sense, yes. I thought that was a very clever way to also flash back to that night. The fact that Camilla was in love with Nikki, and then the whole affair thing. I think there were a lot of really fun reveals. And the outfits everybody was wearing was so
loved
gorgeous.
the outfits when they
yeah.
rolled down there.
Yeah. I don't know. I just wanted to shout them out specifically
Great
because I also
shout.
think just acting wise, they were great. I love that Camilla had that like almost like, and I don't know if this is, I'm so sorry. I don't mean to be
She
offensive.
has the
She has like the Botox, like
Mhm.
this is how I move my mouth because I could barely move my face because I have so much Botox. I'm so sorry if that's just like how her face is because she has Botox. But if that was intentional, either way, it worked really
either
well
way
for me.
8.
Yes. So it worked really well for me.
some questions actually. So
Okay.
what episode were we on when you had the killer revealed?
Oh, pretty early, like
Spoiled, rather.
episode 6, I think,
Interesting.
which I think was even before the Lester episode. It was definitely before the mayor met with them to film the podcast, which I think was the big, like, I might have actually guessed this had I not already known.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know because it seemed obvious to me, but then I knew it, so of course it seemed obvious. So, I will say it was still fun, a very fun reveal, and I also knew other bits and pieces, but I didn't know the context of them. Like I had seen a picture of, Jay Flug getting arrested, so I thought that was interesting. I didn't know if that meant he was also a killer or what that meant. I actually did assume that he was like a second killer by seeing that picture. So it was interesting to see that he was not, and then find out that context of that. So I think that was fun. Yeah. So I knew he was going to get arrested, but I didn't know it's, for other things, not necessarily killer. I do think it's funny that Randall, I mean, good for him because I don't think he did anything wrong, but I think it was interesting that he didn't really face any consequences for like hiding the murder weapon. That's a pretty big deal. I feel like in real life he would have gotten in trouble with that, but I don't know. Maybe they didn't tell him, or I don't know. I'm glad he didn't get in trouble though, because I don't think he should have. But
Sure.
Yeah. Just food for thought.
Some more questions of our main 3. Who do you think does the best this season? MVP of this season.
Oh gosh. MVP, I can't say Oliver. Oliver stuck out to me a lot this season. I think he was very flashy, although I think he's always very flashy because he's just very loud and like, he's just usually such a fun time when he's not being a fake bitch. I would say more so Mabel to me. I would say Charles kind of took a little bit of a back burner this season. Except for some like comedic moments like I'm being catfished. They're like, duh. Yeah, Charles didn't really stick out to me all that much. I would say if Oliver didn't have like 2 specific scenes that I can't get rid of my mind, I would easily pick him. But those irk me, so I want to pick Mabel.
Interesting. I would say MVP is probably Charles for me this season.
Interesting.
Because he does have... I would say he has the longest standing, like, similar arc this season of, like, the feeling alone and trying to, like, find something else outside of the trio for him.
Yeah, I do love the therapy scene when he admits that he's jealous of Oliver and Lorraine, I think.
And then I like the idea of, like, getting testosterone, but then that was inside of him the whole time.
Yeah.
And then literally he's the one who helped them get out of being in chains.
Yeah, true.
So as far as MVP, he's the one who saved them from dying.
That's so true.
But I would say performance-wise, I think he's also... the 3 do a great job.
No, it's hard. And they do a very different job, too. So it's really hard to compare them. I think
feel
that's
like...
why Charles, the actor, I don't remember which one is which, gets underrated just because Oliver has such a much more flashy role.
Yes.
But Charles has a very strong, subtle performance. And I think Mabel does, too.
But I feel like the reason she gets recognized for it more is because she's Selena Gomez.
It's okay. I just think it's awesome, like, despite all of her, like, medical limitations, like, she's still doing this great. I think she's still very fun to watch. And I love that she has a great support system where she can shine, because she does shine. I think she's great.
Sure.
So, yeah.
So my next question, with our ensemble characters, who do you think will come back in another season, and who do you want to come back in another season?
I mean, obviously Lorraine, so let's not even... I want Althea to come back.
I completely agree. I think Althea is really fun. I think it's great seeing Mabel have friends her own age.
Yeah.
And I think she just brings also a unique energy that's, like, similar to Oliver, but, like, she's, like, a mix of Oliver and Mabel.
Yeah.
which is very fun.
Yep. I also obviously I think Howard always kind of makes an appearance, but I did want to shout him out. Nikki's kids. I would love it if for some reason they had to visit the dry cleaners and get help from them. And
I
they
would
were
love
just,
if
like,
they came back as
panicky.
like temporary muscle repeatedly as a bit.
Yes.
I loved that joke. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
you guys aren't actually helping. You guys can leave.
Yeah. Also, especially since one of them is maybe dating Howard now, like that's a good segue as well. Yeah. Sophia, or not Sophia, Lester the robot. That would be fun.
I feel like it would be weird if we. I think, in the vein of like, the show writing off some of the new characters because they didn't stay for whatever reason. I think it would be weird if Randall was replaced next time we go in. Because at that point,
Yeah.
it's like, dude, why didn't you just leave when there was a murder being investigated here that
Yeah.
you were involved in?
Yeah.
So I think
I
that'll be
do
weird if he's
Also
gone.
think it's really funny that when he left, he didn't really leave.
Mhm.
I think that was great. That was a good reveal.
Do you think we'll ever see Jay Fluke again?
I wouldn't mind, but I also don't feel like I need to. You know, I would love if for some reason they needed his, again, like if they just needed their help, especially since he's a billionaire and has resources, even when he's in jail, like, you know, and you know, who knows if they'll even stay in jail because they're so rich.
Sure.
So, yeah, I would love to, especially since they had like a vibe going with like a I want to do better and she wants him to do better. Like that would be cool to see him again.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't feel like I need to, but I would be happy with it. So.
Indeed.
I think my top pick would be Althea, but there's a lot of other ones that would be very fun. So, yeah.
So.
Oh, obviously the detective as well.
Oh, absolutely. She was great.
Yeah.
We love her. So, next up on our conversational docket is award predictions.
Ooh. I mean, I obviously think it'll get nominated for Best Comedy again. Depending on how competitive it is. Because I don't know how long it's going to take for the studio to make another season. So we'll see.
That'll do
But, you know, Abbott Elementary is also there and will get nominated. I think it'd be really fun. And it may have happened before. But whether or not it has, I would love for all three of them to get
they've
nominated.
all gotten nominated before.
But have they gotten nominated in the same year? That's my question. That's what I would love.
I believe that they have. I think especially on those early seasons.
Yeah.
I think even like not this year's Emmys, but the last year's Emmys, I think
Yeah.
they both were again.
I would love that. I would love to see some supporting ones in there. I think I think especially Camilla. What is her name? Renee Zellweger or something.
Yeah, it's something around those
Yeah.
lines.
So iconic. I would love for her to get a nomination. Genuinely.
Honestly, I don't know if she has before, but I feel like Divine Joy Randolph has a
Yes,
decent
I
shot
was
at
also
it.
thinking that. Yeah.
I would say
think so.
probably. I don't know if I'd include Meryl Streep in that. Wouldn't hate it.
Depends on
but
how competitive
I
it is,
think
I
there are
guess.
some
Yeah.
stronger performances specifically in
so.
that category from
Yeah.
this show.
I think so.
Yeah.
If they had to, narrow it down to one or two, I would pick one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But it definitely wouldn't be the first time that multiple people from the same show were nominated.
Sure.
Not even close. I'm looking at you, White Lotus.
Ooh,
So
maybe.
yeah.
I would also say maybe I'd be interested to see if young Lester could get a guest star
Oh, that would be
nomination.
fun. Yeah.
I think he did a
actually
lot to
agree
really
with that.
sell that, actually.
I agree. I so agree with that. I'm trying to think of any other guest. Oh, this is not going to happen, but also Althea did a great job, I think, in
She
a very
did
different
really
way.
great.
Yeah.
I
I don't think she has a chance, but that would be very fun.
Yeah.
Because she can't be a guest, unfortunately. I think she'd be a shoo-in for a guest, but supporting, I think there are two,
Supporting, I think,
maybe
is a little
three
rough.
stronger. There are definitely three, so.
But but God, I would love so much for her to continue being in this show.
Yeah, me too.
looking at some of these other people, I don't know if... How about supporting actor? Do you think anyone stands out?
Not really. I mean, I wouldn't be like mad if the actor for Bash and Fluke got nominated. I just don't really think they like stand out to me in like a Emmy nominated way.
Fair. I agree.
I would actually probably. Can I pick Keegan Michael Key for one? Actually,
I feel like in name recognition alone, in
Yeah.
a comedy category, I feel like he has probably the most likely chance of getting nominated.
yeah. Would be fun if older Lester got nominated too. I don't
But
think
that's
he
the
will,
thing.
but
That's
he's so
hard.
sweet.
But he is
Yeah.
cast really well. I think he does a great job.
Anybody else? No, I don't think so.
I'm gonna also go ahead and maybe we'll do more of a quiz question. What do you think are the highest and lowest rated episodes of this season?
Is the highest the Lester episode? I feel like it's not, but I want it to be.
Let me take a look. Nope, let's go to season 5. Highest rated episode of the season is season 5, episode 2, After You, which is Lester's episode, at an 8.5 out of 10. Let me look at which one
I
is
know
the
that's right.
lowest.
Oh, is the lowest the game night? Game night or the one where they're looking for a house and then they find the theater? Because I think those are 2 different episodes. Yeah, they've got to be. But I also think those were pretty back to back. So
They were back-to-back episodes.
is either
Take
one of
your
them
pick.
lower? The house searching.
Flatbush has a 7.4. That is where they were apartment searching and ended up in the theater.
Mm-hmm.
Silver Alert, which is game night episode, has a 7.3. It is our lowest episode of the season.
I mean, I'm not mad at that. But I do think I really like the fact that Charles and Mabel won using the stories they had heard from Oliver.
I think that's a great bit.
really precious.
But I will say, I think Oliver
I don't know if there's
is
much
so
else.
out of it.
Yeah.
That and them not actually getting any answers from
Yeah.
after winning is just like, oh my
Although
god.
I do think it's really funny that he shows up in a tractor and then they just throw stuff at them and it's like
And
it's like
it
2 feet
works.
away from them. Yeah. It's crazy.
Oh, and also it's really funny when the people find Oliver and they're like, okay.
Yeah, because they think he's crazy. They think he's crazy. And he's like, no, like my friends are being kidnapped by billionaires next door. And they're like, okay, let's get you to bed, Grandpa.
You know?
That's crazy.
No,
And then
for
he's
sure.
trying to get the horse. That's so funny. Yeah, I don't blame them. I mean, I understand and agree with the fact that they're so close in points, though. 7.4 versus 7.3. Yeah.
Alrighty. Next discussion point, unless you had any other questions in this vein. Looking at season 6, clearly, as Cindy was investigating a murder case in London, and by like the most technical sense, with her dying act was to be a murder in their building.
Yeah.
What do you think lies in store in the city of London?
Well, also she was narrating something too, so I wonder.
Well, because they're listening to the podcast that she was working on
Yeah.
from London.
So I feel like that seems to me like they're gonna use that a lot to piece together what happened, and I'm so looking forward to that. I think that's so fun. First of all, what a great way to bring her in, to have her on the show even though she's dead. So clever. And I love her, so I'm excited to see a lot about
And I'm
her.
actually excited because I actually feel like the podcast part of the show was like super on the back burner this season.
Yeah.
Like as far as like them actually like filming and recording it.
Yes.
I feel like that was unfortunately a little left on the side burner.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm so excited for them to go to London and what that means for them. who the love interest is going to be, who the guest stars are going to be. That alone, I think those two separate things that I just said with the Tina Fey podcast thing and now this, those are like two different great pitches to me. So my excitement level is very high, even if I am still nervous about what the setting is going to look like. I will say it's London, so like it's going to be
There
fun.
is some great architecture in London, which is
Yeah.
why I think similar to the stage setting, I think they could make that jump. They just need to, I think, really make sure the script can support it.
But I think if they use a lot of Tina Fey's podcast narration and if they go on like a treasure hunt almost of just finding clues, I think that would be awesome. Especially doing that around London. I think that alone makes it interesting.
I agree.
I don't know how long you could do that. I don't think you could do that a whole season.
My thought is if it's in London, because obviously the murder's in the U.S., but it's presumably for whatever was happening in London.
Yeah.
So
And it's already confirmed that they're going to
Yes.
London. So it's at
my
least
question,
for part of the
my
season.
main question is, where is our main set piece when we're in London?
I don't know. That's what I don't know. Probably wherever Tina Fey used to live.
That's what I'm
her
thinking.
building. Which that could open up a lot of doors. Her building and her stuff. Like, I'm open to it. We'll see.
I wonder if
I
they'll-
think that's where you could go wrong if you don't do it right.
I wonder if
So.
they'll go in some vein of like, oh my gosh, this building was made by the same person who made the Arconia. Or something like that. That feels very on brand for this show.
Yes, I agree.
But I'd be so down for it. Unfortunately, I'm that cheesy.
I would too. Yeah.
So I also wanted to ask, who are some British actors that you think that you would love to see on here, and who you think are actually like some like decent names to throw in the hat here?
Gosh. Okay, I'm trying to think of like specifically British
I
actors.
think, especially with some of her work in comedy and television in the last couple of years, I think Olivia Colman would
Yes.
actually be a really great fit for the show,
Yes.
and especially right now in her career.
Yep. I love Olivia Colman. I think she would be great. Gosh, I'm like tempted to say Benedict Cumberbatch just because I'm now thinking about the roses. I'm like, bring them back as a duo. I was saying like I want somebody from the old Harry Potter cast to be here, like Rupert Grint, the guy who played Ron.
Mhm.
Sorry if I butchered his name, or the two people that played Ginny and Luna, I think would be really fun. You also, I think, said Daniel Radcliffe could be fun. I agree.
I feel like
I'm open to it.
I feel like after he was in like the second Now You See Me movie, I feel like it would make a lot of sense in his career to show up on Only Murders
Yeah,
in the Building.
I think so. So, gosh, I don't know.
Here. Ben Kingsley, I think, would fit in the show really well.
Why do I know that name?
He's the Mandarin actor.
Yes.
Also in Shutter Island. I
he
think
would
he would
so
do really great.
fit in. Yes. I also think Tom Hiddleston could be fun. Idris Elba, I think you brought up.
Yeah,
That's
he's
a great
good.
pick.
He's pretty high up there. Ooh, Chiwetel Ejiofor, Mordo's actor. I feel like
Fun,
he
fun.
could fit really well into the ensembles we've had.
Fun.
Hugh Grant, I think, makes so much sense for this show as well.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
and then since he's such a hot topic right now, I have to bring up Jonathan Bailey. I feel like
That
I
would
don't know
be-
the age gap.
If it's Jonathan Bailey, I
also
fear
the-
he'd be playing Jonathan Bailey.
That's okay. That would be such a great, honestly, genius pick from them, especially coming off of like the second part to Wicked. He's just got named Sexiest Man Alive of 2025. He's gonna be in Bridgerton season. What are we at 4 in January? Like, he's such a hot name right now, and I think it would be genius to bring him in. I really do. I don't know how close they are in age in terms of could he be Mabel's love interest potentially. But also, so we brought up Cara Delevingne for season 2. Mabel is a bisexual, so we have
That's what I'm
some ladies
thinking.
in there for options.
Hey there.
British women, like she's got a great pick. So I'm very excited for whoever they pick for that. Also, I'm remembering that Nicholas Hoult is British. I think
Yes.
that could be really fun.
I feel like with Lex,
Um,
I feel like he's like not big enough to be the star like the random star on the show, but I feel like he's
He's been in a lot of things though.
I don't know.
It's
I feel like in
weird,
his
it-
career it would be I don't think being on television is the best thing for his career right now. If I were to be his if I were his manager, I'd be like, "Hey, this would have been great for you 2 years
he
ago."
was in The Great.
He was, but then it
Yeah.
ended. And then he'd go from being the star of that
Jacob Anderson. I think he's British. I think so.
Yes. Oh, he'd be fun.
I think
He'd
he
be really-
is.
Could I see him in this? Because I know he's also pretty funny. Outside of the roles I've seen him in,
Yeah.
could he be in a comedy? It's a transition, but he is great in television.
Yeah. I'm down.
That's up there.
And he can be a more serious character too. Like we can have we have plenty of comedic relief options there. I also think I kept wanting to pick Margot Robbie, even though I just like Margot Robbie or Saoirse Ronan. I know they're not British. What is it? Irish and Australian.
Mm-hmm.
So probably not Margot Robbie. But Saoirse Ronan would be really fun.
I feel like Sally Hawkins would also fit in this ensemble.
Yes.
Paddington Mom.
We're picking a lot of big names, but I mean the show gets big names. Like it's definitely not out of the question. Also maybe lesser known names. Any person from the Heartstopper cast, we always plug them into like anything.
Anything that's British, really.
Anything.
But that being said, Kit Connor for Only Murders season 5.
Yeah.
I'll cry.
Is David Johnson from The Long Walk British? Am I crazy?
I don't know.
Let's get him in this
But I'll call you
anyways.
British. I mean, I'll call you crazy.
You could be British today for Only Murders. That's crazy. Oh, God.
Woo!
That's okay. I just want
That's
him in
wild.
anything as well. So
No,
there
that's
you
so
go.
valid.
Yeah.
So many great
I'm sure
options.
I'm sure there's so many great options. Way too many. Andrew Garfield was also British. Like Tom Holland. Like, come on.
Right. Let's just get that
do
to
I
happen.
think do I think that's gonna happen? No. But do I think it would be awesome? Yes.
I would say, I think in like the Marvel
So.
vein, I would see like Paul Bettany getting the call to go do it.
I don't like Paul Bettany. Fuck Paul Bettany. I'll tell you.
Tell me
After
later.
this,
I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know the tea here.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Unfortunately.
But yeah, there's a lot of exciting doors that this opens. I think
Yeah.
uniquely different from everything that has been prior in these other seasons. It is different, and different hasn't always worked in the favor of the show. But especially
But,
after this
you
last
know-
season, they've built up my
Exactly.
confidence.
Yes, season 4 going into season 5, I was not confident. Now I am. I'm feeling good. And yeah, you've got some great pitches there, even if I'm still a little hesitant about how you're going to deal with your setting, but you have a lot of options. We'll see what you do with them. That's what I'm going to say.
One last question I want to ask you, because I know that this season wasn't getting a lot of online conversation from it the way I think it has in other seasons,
Yeah.
which I think inherently brought up the question of are we reaching the close
Are
of
we
this
wrapping up?
franchise overall? Not franchise, but this series. So, do you think season 6 could be our final season? I will say, especially here with the risk of losing the building, that's giving some series finale vibes. But obviously, they're planning
And
something
they did,
else.
Yeah. I think it honestly really depends on how season 6 does. And we've got to see the numbers, because I feel like there are plenty of shows and movies that I hear nothing about just because
That still perform really well.
that still performed really well. So I don't know. I think we're going to have to look at the numbers for season 5 once they actually come out to see actual interest. And then season 6, I think they need to get some big names, in my opinion. At least 3.
I think
if they get Jonathan Bailey, they'll be fine for another season, honestly.
I think I'd like going forward for them to maybe
Isn't Cynthia Erivo British?
Yes.
Throw her in there too. Sure. Might
But
as well.
I think maybe they need to look at adding some people into the larger ensemble.
Yeah.
I think similar to like Loretta being added in, I feel like they could use a new wrench in the dynamics.
I think the detective needs to be
Yes.
in the next season. I don't know how she's going to though.
That's
if
a
they're going
great-
to London.
Mm.
I don't know,
But
but
the murder
I
happened in
agree.
New York.
Yeah.
I could see her. I could see them
could-
constantly calling her.
Yes, calling back and forth. Yeah, I don't know.
But
I'm down to
in
see.
the vein of when this show ends, what do you think is kind of like the setting? Do you think this is going to be a show that's just like, well, after 30 seasons, they just stopped, and we'll never know what happened to this last victim we teased? Or do you think that there's some like close that they would reach within like the story, where it's like, oh, we're ending the podcast and we're going off to go do different things?
Yeah, I feel like Oliver and what is it, Loretta or Lorraine?
Loretta.
I feel like they're kind of headed that direction of doing their own thing anyways. I feel like Charles or Mabel getting a big break in some capacity, I think will be the nail in the coffin.
Yeah.
I mean, fun coffin. I think it could be very easily be a good, fun ending.
Mm-hmm.
Bittersweet, obviously, if they're separating. But yeah, I think it would help if you add other consistent characters to maybe be that branch of, oh, I'm going with them to another country or something. Whether it's a love interest friend, like whoever. Yeah, I don't know.
I agreed to most of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
I could see some outlets. I just need them to end it before one of the actors actually dies in real life. I can't handle that. I can't handle seeing an episode. No.
Oh,
I
I mean,
need that-
I can't
I need
imagine
it to
they'd have
end
a
after
whole. Especially of our like main two older fellas, that show can't go on.
Yeah, they'd end it after that. I mean, somehow, maybe one other season just to wrap it up, and I think they're done. And I think they should be.
Sure.
But I just hope that doesn't happen. I hope, like, they end it before then. Yeah, honestly.
But that being said, we've clearly really enjoyed this season
Yes.
of Only Murders in the Building. What do you guys think? Please let us know in the comments below. Let us know how you would rank the seasons so far, and what are you looking forward to with season 6 in London?
In London.
Thank you guys so much.
Sorry, go ahead.
Interrupt me again. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. I am your host, Luke.
And I'm your host, Alicia.
And thank you so much for watching Not So Straight Nerds.
Bye.